Hi. So, our body are made of cells, and all these cells working together to make our bodies function. So, knowing that, what are cells really? If you would zoom into a cell, you could find that it's made out of a multitude of organelles. These organelles are basically the organs of the cells, and they work to have the cell function. Using sugar or glucose, it can start the process that makes the energy for our cells. And that energy allows those cells to function, which allow us to function. Now, a lot of people don't properly nutrate their body or provide enough nutrients for them. I personally have an issue with this as well. I try to eat healthy, but realistically, we don't. So, what would happen if our cells got the bare minimum amount of nutrients and glucose, which just mean our bodies would function, but at a lower rate? The bare minimum would be that humans can survive 3 days without water and a week without food would be enough for us to survive, which in our bodies, a common factoid or fact, there are some outliers of course, but most of the time humans can survive 30 days before our body completely shuts down. These are contradicting facts, but the standpoint lasts that our body needs those nutrients. And a lot can be learned by the way we get those nutrients for ourselves. Personally, I like to get my nutrients from apples and fruits, other fruits and vegetables. I like those. I still eat meat, and a common thing for people to do is not eat meat and go vegan or vegetarian. Now, there's just a minor difference between the two, and one doesn't eat meat products and one doesn't eat meat entirely. I don't think I could go without meat, but I bet a diet could be sustained, especially with nuts. Those with a nut allergy probably couldn't sustain themselves just on vegetables. I think a common issue all people have are nutrients, and it's been advertised in the past that Africa has a problem with nutrients, mainly food. I think a lot of people have seen Marvel's Endgame or Infinity War, and the main premise would obviously spoil the warning if you haven't seen it, but one of the main premises of the villain's whole reasoning behind doing what he was doing was that there weren't enough nutrients, so planets were dying. So he wanted to go around and limit the amount of population. Now, the problem was the way he did it was he just killed half the population across the entire world, universe, but mainly affected Earth, and the movies. So, because of that, the supply lines would have gotten even worse. Even more people died than half of the population, and those people that did die probably didn't come back when they used the Infinity Gauntlet. Now, they may have, but we don't know what was going on in the world. The point is, he messed up the nutrients that were getting passed around and the ability, like the food that everyone was getting, just because he had an idea that wasn't fully researched. And like I said before, cells are the building blocks of our bodies so that we can function. And they are made out of molecules that are on the periodic table. And for whatever reason, molecules can mimic other molecules with the same electron charge. but need the same proton and electron balance to mimic them perfectly. Now, I don't know if they're the same, that's a question I've had as well, but a focus I've had in researching topics such as these have to be the cause, or what influences it all. And with cells, all they're trying to do is survive. And everyone's heard of the mitochondria as the powerhouse of the cell. And I think everyone could agree that the human body has a lot of mitochondria inside of our cells to provide energy for us. One of the main reasons why our eukaryotic cells are so important is because of the fact that they allow for more energy. And that's mainly caused by the mitochondria. Now, if we were to say, in a separate world or a parallel universe, somewhere isolated that didn't have mitochondria but existed mainly with single-celled beings or animals, they would probably evolve differently. They would probably evolve a different form of getting as much energy as possible. And I think all animals or eukaryotic cells have a mitochondria. I think most do. Not all of them do. I think there are a couple outliers. But as far as I know, there are a lot of animals and plants and other creatures that have mitochondria. And because of that, it's such an important aspect of maintaining cells, well, eukaryotic cells, that we can simply see that if we didn't have that way to make energy, if we weren't so, well, I wouldn't say efficient, but we didn't have the capacity to make so much energy, it would negatively affect evolution. And you could debate all you want on if evolution is real, but the mitochondria itself is an amazing concept. If I were to demonstrate, I would say, imagine a circle, and this circle has 4 dots inside of it, and each dot is of varying size and shape, and the dot has another dot in it. We'll call this dot A. This is the mitochondria. The mitochondria is basically another cell inside your cell that provides energy. So cell A, or the mitochondria, provides the energy for your cell. Cell B would be your nucleus. It's in the very center of your cell. It holds the DNA and transmits the RNA and tRNA. This all aids in your ability to create protons with with dot B, no, it's dot C. And dot C is multiple dots. So it's gonna be called dots B. C. So dots C consist of all the organelles that are required to make proteins. So we have all the ribosomes, we have the Golgi apparatus, we have the smooth and rough endoplasmic reticulum, and we have those all as dots C. Dot B would be the lysosomes that handle waste management. And all of this is in a bubble made out of fat that look like a balloon attached to each other, if you were to be able to zoom in very closely to them. And this is what I imagine when I'm looking or thinking of a cell. And it blows my mind that this is capable of supporting our cognitive function, because we've done so much in humanity's history just in the past 100, 200 years. And all of this is because cells evolved or changed to be able to make more energy. So, no matter what, when you look back, you can think of how when cells started on the Earth from crashing down from meteors, possibly from other planets, and other wastes, that someday your cells may pass on to create life on another planet. Now, it's not likely, but it's a nice thing to remember that even the smallest things can hold great importance. And that's